Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12th, 2023 from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.
Welcome in, guys, right here to WagerTalk TV. I'm Andrew McInnis. I have Carmine and Bianco with me and Don Buster. Looking forward to today's show. A lot of great matchups. We got some best bets at the end, some promotions to go over. And I'll start with this. Look, guys, I thought I had a pretty good night last night. 1-0. I'll take it. The one winner. Carm smacks his 5% play out of the park. He was kind of downplaying yesterday. I had to let you guys know about it. I hope you guys took advantage of it. Not just a 1-0 day for Carm, a 3-0 day on the ice. So a big congratulations to Carmine for that. We also have to mention Don Buster. Big day for him over at the website at Sports Memo. And I'm sure we'll hear more about that in just a few moments. But looking forward to breaking down 4 games today on the slate. We'll tell you about those games here in just a few moments. But Carm, what's going on, buddy? Congrats on the big night.
Yeah, thanks. It was actually a 4-0 night because I did have a parlay with Dallas, Minnesota, and Colorado. Colorado making me sweat against the Chicago Blackhawks. Marc-Andre Fleury was literally standing on his head in that game. As our producer Joe said, it should have been 5-0 at one point. But I was happy. I didn't expect 7-1. I thought it would be a bad spot for St. Louis, and I'm going to talk about that a little later on when we talk about one of the games on this 4-game card that we're talking tonight. But it was one of those rocking chair ones. I don't get those normally, Andrew. I get the ones where you got to sweat them out till the last couple of minutes of the game. So I'm pretty happy about that. And I want to mention there's a prop out there. I bet this yesterday, and I didn't mention it on the show, but it's still good value on it, and that is the Calgary Flames to win the Pacific Division. You can get them at plus 240. That's what I got them at yesterday. Vegas, it's a Vegas and Calgary to win the Pacific Division. One of the two is going to win the division. They're 8 points back, but they have 5 games in hand. But Calgary has, if you don't know, one of the most unbalanced schedules remaining, Andrew. They're going to hit the road for 4 of the next 5, and then they play 21 of 26 games at home. And Calgary at home is a very good team when they are healthy, and you have a goalie like Markstrom. So if you can get plus money, you got to take it. I get it. Vegas is a very good team. They'll be better when they get healthy. But this Calgary team could get on a roll in that 21 games at home. It is a huge slate at home, and that favors them. So with that said, let's bring in the man who is the $2 handicapper at Sports Memo, Don Buster.
Hi, guys. How you doing? All you see is my face there because for some reason I have, of course, 5 minutes before the show, my internet goes out. So my lovely wife has set me up on a hotspot here so you can hear my beautiful voice, give you the picks, and you can look at that ugly face of mine with my my Circa Millions hat. So that was $1,000 well invested, if you ask me. Not. But anyways, gonna do this show. You're gonna hear my voice. You're gonna see that mug, and hopefully gonna give you a bunch of winners tonight. And hopefully the simulation will treat me a little bit better the rest of the week because obviously I haven't had one problem with my internet since October that we've been down here. Not one. And 5 minutes before the show, it goes out. So, anyways. Going to do the best I can, guys, and it should be pretty funny anyways with my head there and listening to my voice.
Well, Buster,
truthfully,
we're happy to have you.
Truthfully, Buster is currently in the witness protection program. He didn't make his payments to El Chapo. That's why his Wi-Fi was cut off. But we wish him all our best and good luck tonight with his $2 play over at Sports Memo. Andrew?
Well, yeah, that's definitely commitment to still come on this show. The good news is, guys, I don't think people are on this show or watching or listening to see us. I don't think people really care what we look like. They want winners. They want picks. Let's jump right into it. We're talking Knights and Hurricanes, Panthers, Jets, Oilers, Canucks, and Stars and Devils. Let's start things off with our very first game we'll discuss on the tap for tonight with the Vegas Golden Knights and the Carolina Hurricanes going head-to-head. This should be a pretty good game here. We've got the Carolina Hurricanes minus 195. They're at home. Vegas plus 165 on the road here. Total's at 6 in this game. Obviously, we've got Vegas, second half of their back-to-back, Carm. Carolina, I got this feeling about them in this game that they're just going to absolutely roll. I just have a feeling that, right now Vegas has been up and down. We talked about it yesterday on the show. I can own a loss just as much as we'll talk about winners. I lean towards the over in yesterday's game, Carmen. That was not a good one. That one was a dud. Both those teams, Washington and Vegas, it was a very low-scoring game. Carolina, I think their depth, again, is on full display lately. It's been too much to handle for plenty of teams, and if you're ever a DFS guy, if you're a prop guy, this Carolina team is good because you can take the guys in the third or fourth line, but it's also bad if you want to just take those favorited players to score goals or get points because they have so many guys that can do things for you. But they're minus 195, Carm. So how do we approach this contest?
Yeah, it's funny, Andrew, because you're talking about yesterday's show, and if our producers, if I had told them to put the clip up, they would have found it. Flashback to Monday on Puck Time, Vegas and Washington, Carmine and Bianco. These teams are incapable of playing a 2-1 or 3-1 type of game. I really like the over. Vegas says, "Hold my beer." They win 1-0 in Washington. An absolute defensive masterpiece between the two. And they killed off some 5-on-3s in that game. But now it's like a back-to-back. They don't have Lehner in net. It's likely going to be Lauren Brassard in net. And then you got Freddie Anderson, who is 10-1 his last 11. He's just playing lights out. And they're coming off what is really an embarrassing loss, 7-4 on Friday. I think Friday or Saturday, 2 nights off. They've had 2 days off since that loss, playing at home where they play extremely well. It's just one of those ones, like you said, where I think you have to lean on Carolina. And I would likely lean on them in regulation time because I don't want to lay $1.95 on them. You can get them at minus 120, 125 in regulation. And I think just goalies alone. Goalies are a big part of this game, which is why we talk about making sure we do the show early, just keep updating the goalies, and sometimes we'll tell you, I like this play based on this guy starting, and I like the play based on Anderson starting the game and Brassard starting the game for Vegas. And if that's what it is, then I'm leaning regulation time on the Hurricanes here. Buster, thoughts on this game?
Yeah, happen to tend to agree with you, Carmine, about this. And actually, Andrew, you're right what you had mentioned before. As the old running joke goes, I've got a great face for radio. So, you mentioned that before about no one is here. They just want our picks. Vegas looked really good last night, right? Although Leonard played really well. They still have some guys with COVID. Now, as you said, Carmine, back-to-back against arguably, maybe the best team in the East or maybe the best team in the NHL, in my opinion. Think about Vegas, 7-0 on the road, the last 7 on the road. Don't usually like jumping in front of something like that, but you know what? I'm jumping in front of it today. I'm with you, Carmine, on the Carolina in regulation. It's just a tough spot for Vegas after they had a tough physical game against Washington, and now they have to play Carolina. And as you said, Carolina played last on Saturday, and they lost 7-4 to New Jersey. And I'll tell you right now, Brendamar, he will be pissed. So, like Carolina here, just the situation is great. And as you also mentioned, Carmine, I think you stole my notes, goaltending, right? Leonard's not going to play back-to-back. They actually have to go to Tampa Bay in Florida coming up, so it's a real nasty road trip for them. And Carolina are just, they're really good at home as well, right? They're 13-4-1 at home. Just really tough for a tough spot for Vegas here. As far as the total, really want no part of this total at all. Carolina, Anderson should be back in net tonight. He missed the last start, and yeah, it's the odds maker have it at 6, so no part of the total, but we will take Carolina in regulation for us.
Well, it's a great point you mentioned, Buster, about Rob Brandamore and the type of coach he is. And obviously, every single coach in the league, everybody knows this, would want to see a bounce-back performance and would be in the locker room giving it to their team or at practice the next day. But Brandamore is a different type of coach. He has that good relationship with his team where he can put his foot down, but there's so many vets on that team as well that if they give up 7 goals in one game, you have to think we're going to see a better performance in the next game. And now they're catching a team the second half of their back-to-back. I wanted to mention, we talk regulation, we talk about puck lines. Team total here is minus 130 for over 3.5 goals for the Carolina Hurricanes. Take a look at their last couple wins. They beat the Rangers. They scored 6 goals. They beat the Canucks. They scored 4 goals. They beat the Flames. They scored 6. They beat the Jackets. They score 7. When this team is victorious lately, they are hitting their team total of over 3.5. You can get that minus 130. So regulation, team total. We're liking the Hurricanes tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm expecting a good game from them. We'll see if the Vegas Golden Knights can put up more than just 1 goal. Let's get into our next game, the Florida Panthers and the Winnipeg Jets. Florida on the road, minus 170. Winnipeg at home, plus 145. Totals currently sitting at 6.5. Buster, we all know how great Florida has been at home. Obviously, they're still a great team. They've got so many scores. They put up some big numbers consistently. But Winnipeg, they've kind of surprised me a bit. They've kind of gotten it together a little bit. They've done better, shown some signs of brightness, but I'm not so sure if that can happen here tonight against the Panthers. What are your thoughts on this game, Buster?
Yeah, I already gave my clients out over 6 last night, as I talked about this last week, where you want to grab these totals when they come out because they're moving really quick. And although I really believe they've gone away from a lot of the pond hockey games here, there still was a couple last night, as you see. Florida, not sure what's wrong with them on this road trip. They've looked terrible, especially on defense. And especially a couple of those games against Calgary and then Seattle, the last game was terrible. Really just looked bad when you give up 5 goals to a Seattle team that's maybe one of the worst in the NHL, that they don't score a lot of goals. So, yeah, that wasn't the best. This is one of those spots that I like playing against. This is the last road trip of a 5-game road trip for Florida. This is their last game. And guess who's waiting for Florida when they get home on Thursday? Yeah, that'd be Vegas. So really kind of like Winnipeg here as well. Like I say, we already took the over. I think between these clubs, the over's like 10-3 for the last 13 in Florida games. The over's 7-2 the last 9 games for Winnipeg as a dog. I can go on and on. The over's 13-3-1 last 17 games between these clubs in Winnipeg. Florida, again, they've had trouble. Now, I know you want to bet Florida because they lost to Seattle, but they've had trouble in Winnipeg. They've lost their last 7 of their last 9, and I talk about this all the time. I know they're trends from way back, but those trends seem to stick. Like I said, really like the over here, still like it at 6.5, and I lean a bit to Winnipeg. Not sure if it makes my card.
Carm, do you see an upset in the books tonight?
Not really. It's tough. You look at this game, and Buster made some good points on this. It's one of those things where, if you watch this show, you hear me mention it quite often. I'm going to try and fade a team on their first back off a long road trip. This is Winnipeg's first game home in 2022. They've 8 games on the road heading home. They lost the last 4 of that trip. But and waiting for them is a pretty good Florida team, but they haven't been very good at home. Very good on the road. They have a losing record thus far on the road. And you look at these games, they got blitzed in the first game on this 4-game road trip in Calgary. They go to Edmonton, and that final score was 6-0, but the Oilers lost that game in the first period where they could not bury all their chances. They completely outplayed this Florida team, and then the minute Florida scored on them, the Oilers did what they've done for the last 2 months. They completely fell apart. So you give Florida that win. Then they go to Vancouver, and this is a Vancouver team that's playing extremely well. They eke one out in OT, and then they're completely flat in Seattle. This team is sort of the Heckle and Jide, or Jekyll and Hyde, or whatever you want to call it. I got it wrong. You just can't figure them out on the road. It's absolutely horrible with this team, but I expect them to be better. I actually think they're taking a couple of angles that look for them to bounce back off of that performance in Seattle, and they've had obviously a day off, so it's not a back-to-back. And you get a Winnipeg team happy to be home, but it's still their first on home ice this year, and off a long trip. And maybe that first period doesn't go their way. I think it could be a slow start for Winnipeg. So I'm going to take Florida first period here. I'll take them on the money line. It's still only about -140. I don't mind laying 140. I don't like laying the bigger prices. So give me Florida first period here to bounce back off that flat one and maybe catch Winnipeg a little flat-footed in the first period.
All right, so a little bit of a disagreement here on this show, but I'm to a surprise of absolutely nobody tuning in that we have some disagreements. Yesterday, it did go pretty well, though, Carm. We were on the same page for most of the slate. That turned out pretty well. But looking at first period for Florida, well, how about this, Carm? We'll get a first period winner for Florida. We'll get Buster the over and Buster a Winnipeg full game. How about that? 3 winners, 3 different possible outcomes, and we'll find a way to get all those done. So let's do that. Let's try and find a way to get all 3 of those. Let's jump into the Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. I think this one is a really interesting game here. The odds right now, Edmonton -135, Vancouver +115. They're at home. Total is 6.5 here. Edmonton record 19-16-2. Vancouver Canucks 18-19-4. We've got this Canucks team that after that break that we had, guys, they had a pretty rough schedule. I mean, you look at it, we're talking about Florida, Tampa, Carolina, Washington, Nashville, Florida, St. Louis. That is not an easy schedule for a team that was on a unreal winning streak under their brand new head coach. So the question that I think we all have to ask ourselves, how much was that winning streak, just against mediocre teams? Or how much is this losing streak? Hey, it's okay. It's just against really strong teams. And that's kind of how I feel. You guys know I've liked Vancouver. You guys know I bet them +400 to make the playoffs in case they went on an insane run. They might not get that for me, but those odds are getting lower. And I think that, after this bump in the road with this crazy schedule, they're going to get it done. Now, the Edmonton Oilers, they're a whole story in their own, whether it's a media scrum that's making the news, whether it's the fact they can't get several players besides Leon and Connor to score, whether it's their goaltending problem when their third-string goaltender seems to be their best goaltender. There's so many different angles, so many different headlines and trends to look towards in this game in particular. But they are off a win. The Edmonton Oilers are off a 5-3 win against the Calgary Flames, where they were short underdogs. I'll tell you what here, I'm kind of surprised to see a 6.5 as the total. My gut instinct was to look at this one and look towards the under 6.5, Carm. As far as the side goes, I'm not so sure. I really am not. I don't know which Edmonton I'm going to get. I know Vancouver, they're at home. They're happy to be at home. I'm sure they're going to give us a good effort. They have several guys that are starting to, up their game again. But I like the under here. I expect a good defensive game despite, a long road trip. They're back at home here. I think we'll see a lower scoring game tonight.
Yeah, well, we're going to probably disagree. Well, you're not picking a side, so we won't obviously disagree on this one. But, I hope in our Detroit home office, Johnny Detroit is watching this show or listening to it right now, because I'm going to use a phrase that he uses with regards to his Detroit Lions, where they keep telling you they're going to win this week. It's the old banana in the tailpipe thing. Not this time. I'm not taking the Oilers. Listen, they lost 6 in a row, and then they beat Columbus and Seattle, and everything is rosy and bright-eyed in Edmonton. We're on the way back, and then they dropped 7 in a row, and then they beat Calgary on the weekend, and they had to come back and do that, but they won it late in that game. I'm still not convinced on this Edmonton team, and you want to know why? It's because Holland has done absolutely nothing to improve this team in the 1,000+ days that he has been the general manager of this team. He literally killed the Red Wings in their last couple of seasons, and he's doing it to Edmonton. They have a wealth of scoring talent and no goalies. Mike Smith and Koskinen are not going to win you playoff series. They're not going to win you a cup. They need a goalie. So I am not going to take this team, and I'm not going to lay any money on this team until they get an actual goalie. Sure, Koskinen stopped 44 or 47 shots on goal. What does it say about your team that you were even allowed 47 shots on goal? You keep doing that night in and night out, and you're going to lose these games like they're losing 6-0, 6-3. I can't take them. And you look at Vancouver, and you can make a point for them, Andrew, that they're still playing very good hockey. That 2-1 loss to Florida in OT. That was their first game home off a 7 or 8 game road trip where they finished it off with wins in Nashville and Washington. And then they lose a game against St. Louis, and this one of the things I mentioned in my write-up against Calgary, in the Calgary one, that St. Louis stole that game. Ville Husso played his eyeballs out, 39-17. Vancouver outshot St. Louis. It was the goaltending that won that game. Again, goaltending. We keep coming full circle back to the goaltending thing. Vancouver's going to be right. They're going to win their games. Can Edmonton win tonight? Sure. When you have McDavid and you have Draisaitl, you're always got a chance to win. They've been the top scorers the last 3-4 years. They just can't win come playoff time. I'm taking the plus money with the dog at home here. Give me Vancouver plus 115. Buster.
Well, Carmine, you've got a lot of good points there. That's for sure. To me, this game tonight is the toughest one on the board. This is a game that it's very tough because, like you said, Edmonton comes to Vancouver. They're 135. I've seen 140. This team has lost 13 of their last 16 games. Like, come on. Really? They're that much of a favorite? Now I understand. They're going to get Cassian back. They get Nugent Hopkins back. But they still have a couple guys on COVID. I think Hyman and Barry still on COVID. So, like, really? How? I don't get why they're such a big favorite over Vancouver. Although I will mention at the end where maybe there's something there. But talking about COVID, Vancouver still has Horvat's on COVID, JT Miller, Garland, I believe. They're all still in COVID protocol. But they get Demko back. Demko hasn't played the last couple of games. Now, I know Vancouver went on that big run when Boudreau got there, won 8 out of 9. And now I think they're 2-4-1 in their last 5-6 games. But you mentioned it, Carmine. They played fantastic the other night. I actually took Vancouver. They're getting plus 140 at just a small little play as a flyer because, again, I know they were having a new goaltender, but usually teams play hard when you got a guy that's, their 5th or 6th goaltender that played for them the other night. So, and they did play hard. They just had bad luck. And that's the problem even with the total here at 6.5. I agree with Andrew. Look at this. I'm agreeing with both of you guys in one show. So in the same game too, which is very rare. But yeah, if anything on this game, I would take it under. It's just a coin flip. You have to believe that Edmonton's starting to should play a little bit better. But Carmine said again, with Koskinen in net, I mean, his goals against, I know he played well the other game, but he's like 3.31 goals against. He's like got it under, he's 8.98 save percentage. Yeah, they need a goaltender. This team, I've never liked this team anyways. I think I said on one of these shows at the beginning when everybody was touting Edmonton was going to be good this year, I said, just give me to the playoffs and all my money will be on their first opponent in the playoffs. And they might not even make the playoffs now. So anyways, for me, I will take the under 6.5. And the side, like I say, if anything, I would take Vancouver as well, but I don't really like that play either. So give me under 6.5, guys.
Well, if they happen to make the playoffs, Buster, I'll tell you what. I'll be paying off my golf membership by fading the Oilers. I'll be paying for a nice trip to go visit Carmine and you by fading the Leafs. We got all kinds of trips planned just based off fading a bunch of teams. So that's the
Now,
budget
why
for
would
me,
you want to go back to Toronto when you could come to Mexico? Right?
Well, I mean,
Why-
you're not going to
Who
be there in
wants
the
to go
summer,
to
are
Toronto
you?
in the snow? Well, not in July.
You aren't
no.
there in the summer.
No, that's true. Actually, because Canada's pretty nice in the summer, but although this year we're as long as all the COVID stuff hopefully goes south, we're heading on a nice little trip over to the British Open in Wimbledon in England, so in June. So looking forward to that. Just throwing that in,
Guys, I don't mind the cold. I prefer to be elsewhere. I don't mind the cold, but I'll show you how much I don't mind it. On Saturday, I will be at where Andrew was for the Grey Cup. I'll be at Tim Hortons Field, smack dab center of the pitch, right behind the players' bench as the Canadian men's soccer team faces the U.S. men's soccer team in World Cup qualifying. I got 4 tickets to the game, and I'll be there. And the temperature is forecast to be minus 15 Celsius, which I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's still pretty cold, let me tell you.
Yeah, Carm, it's been about minus 15 every day of the week, or past 3 weeks where I live right now. So that's nothing new to me. That's been the average temperature, unfortunately. We have one game to get into. Go
sorry,
ahead,
Andrew,
Buster. What's your temperature, man?
Since you can't see me, I'm just gonna sneak in there. No, actually, it's been a little disappointing here. It's only been a balmy 85 every day. The golf, as I look at it right now, is perfectly flat. But yeah, it kind of sucks.
I hope your boogie board stops working for a little while here, Buster. You have to find your way to swim back to shore, rubbing it into us every show about how warm it is. Oh, we'll come visit you then. That's how it works. If someone brags about where they are, then you say, "Hey, I'm coming to visit you." So maybe I will. I'll take it. I'll take you up on the offer.
What we're going to do, we will have the picture that we have up on the screen, Andrew. I will do color copies of it, and we'll put them up on the posts in and around the area that Buster likely lives in to see if we can track him down with one of those. Pull the little tab, call this number if you see this man, because I'm pretty sure he's underground somewhere. So,
and we'll put a few beers next to his picture too. Usually found
guys,
drinking these.
Hey guys, let's put it this way: I had the Bucks and the Bills this weekend, so that might say it all.
Well, hopefully you had a few cervezas after those games. You probably needed them. That's tough. Great football this weekend though. Dallas and New Jersey. It's our last game we're going to discuss before we talk about all of our trips and games we are going to. Let's get back into hockey. Dallas, they're minus 140 on the road. New Jersey plus 120. And I'll make it short and sweet here, guys. I like the home dog. The Dallas Stars are a team I like fading on second halves of the back-to-back. Stars are 7-15 in the last 22 games on no rest. This team also 3-7 their last 10 games on the road. New Jersey Devils, a team that, they're getting healthier. I talk about it. They're a different team when they are not healthy. I expect a big night from Jack Hughes tonight, Nico Hischier, these guys to be ready. They always play better hockey at the Prudential Center. And at plus 120, I am on the Devils here tonight. Carmine and Bianco, are you with me or are you against me here?
You and I are not going to agree on this one. Anyways, though, listen, I get where you're coming from because, the last game of a road trip, and especially this one for Dallas is normally the toughest one to close out. And they're playing a Jersey team that play much better on the rock than they do when they hit the road. And, if you watch Puck Time last week, I talked about the Dallas Stars going on this 4-game road trip and that I thought they could win all 4 games. They're 3 for 3. And in that back-to-back that you mentioned, they did. The first 2 games were back-to-back. The second one I believe in Detroit was quite the game. It was a shootout, 5-4 that, went to OT. Just listen, Dallas, it's momentum. Sometimes you got to go with Mo. and that's what Dallas has right now. They have momentum. They've won 3. They were the worst team in the West on the road, 16th place, and I said they're heading on the road to play the Sabres, the Red Wings, the Flyers, and then they close out in New Jersey, and they have a very good chance to win all 4 games and move up those standings into a playoff spot. And they've won the first 3, but this is a tough one to close out. When you go to New Jersey, it's not the easiest game. Ask Carolina, 7-4, but and it's likely going to be Holtby and net tonight. It was Ottinger yesterday, but it's momentum. I'm gonna go with Mo. That's the angle that I'm using here. I thought they could win all 4. I'm gonna stick to my guns here. Hope they can get one tonight, win all 4 games, and head home with 8 points. Give me the Dallas Stars at -140. Buster.
Yeah, I will agree with Andrew here, but my play is really like the over here. You can still get it. I know you're going to pay heavy juice, but you still get it over 5.5, -125. Love the over in this spot here. Really lots to like about the over. Dallas, as you guys have been saying, they're on a back-to-back. Now, they looked all right last night, but both of these clubs are now playing their 3rd game in 4 nights. And to me, that means very little defense. And I always talk about how 6 is an easy number to get to in this league. And when you have tired legs in games, like you're going to have with Dallas tonight, that 6 could get there easy. Like I said, lots of good things to like about the over here. The over is 12-3 for New Jersey as a dog. It's in the when these guys play, New Jersey plays a 3 out of 4 situation. It's 10-3 to the over, and Dallas is 6-1 to the over as a favorite. Not too sure about the side here, but you know what, Andrew, I agree with you. I'm leaning New Jersey, and I know I say on this show lots of times, I just have that feeling from doing this for 40 years, I guess. But I just have that feeling. It's kind of like this is the last game for Dallas on a road trip, and I always like going fading the teams on the road trip their last game, and now they're on a back-to-back, and they're on a 3 out of 4 situation. Those are a lot of things to like, and you're getting some nice plus money with New Jersey here. New Jersey just beat Carolina 7-4. I know that Carolina had a backup goalie, but still, if they're beating them 7-4, they look really good against the Kings. I thought they deserved a better fate in that game. So I'm with you, Andrew. I do like New Jersey. Not sure it's going to make my card, but we already bet the game over 5.5 -125.
Happy to have you with me on the side there, but I like the over just like you. I think we will see some goals in this game. I think the spot sets up for it. But, Dallas has been playing good hockey. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's a good spot here. I like the odds, and I like the fact that New Jersey's been healthy. Guys, Dallas has been a team, not just this year, but I've often looked towards fading them on the second half of back-to-back. Historically, they aren't really a good team when they have a really, jam-packed schedule. This is a team that excels when they have rest. So we'll see how that works out for them tonight on no rest, but looking forward to the matchup tonight. I like the Devils. We have some best bets to get into, and we'll start with you, Carmine Bianco. What do you have up tonight at WagerTalk, and what's your best bet for the show?
Yeah, up at WagerTalk. Sorry, I just had to fix my screen there for you guys. Up at WagerTalk, 3 plays in NHL. Great night last night. Let's see if we can keep the ball rolling here. I'm going to go as my show best bet. I'm going to go right back to that Edmonton and Vancouver game. I'm going to take the home dog here. You're giving me plus 115 with a Vancouver team who has the better of the 2 goalies. It was DiPietro in net in that game against St. Louis, and it's going to be Demko in net. He's the expected starter tonight. He should be in goal tonight, the better goalie. They're like Edmonton's likely going back to Koskinen again, and he has been, if nothing else, inconsistent, and I just can't take a goalie. He stopped 44, 47 shots. This is one of those ones where the Oilers are likely going to have to win a 6-5 game as opposed to one of those 3-2 games. I just don't see that happening. Hopefully I don't jinx myself like I did with the Vegas-Washington game yesterday. But this one feels like Vancouver to me, and I'm getting plus money. So give me the Canucks plus 115 as the show best bet.
Love to have an underdog as a show best bet there, plus 115. Buster, what about you? What's going on for tonight? Obviously, big $2 Tuesday play. What else is going on for you?
Yeah, we have 3 cappers that are up for, so you get 3 cappers for $5 over at Sports Memo. Give us all a try. A lot of good cappers over there. For the show play here, I've been doing those, talking about always having underdog or plus money. That's what I do. And had a nice winner again last week with these. So we're going to go back like the usual. We're going to go back to that Carolina game. Really like Carolina. I think, like I said, I probably oversaid it. That really believe this is just a shitty spot for Vegas here. They're going to either have that Thompson or Brossois in net tonight. I can't see them coming back-to-back with Lander. It's not up yet because, as we all know, and Carmen has told people time and time again, Vegas doesn't announce their goaltenders almost till last minute. So anyways, we're going to go with Carolina, first period -0.5 with that puck line, and we're getting plus 135 today. So that'll be the play. Let's hope we we're having a good run this year so far on these show plays. So let's grab another one, guys. And to everybody in the chat and everybody that's going to watch this video later, apologies that you had to just look at the screen there, but I did want to come on and at least give you my opinions on these games, and hopefully we can have a winning night, guys.
All right, Buster, good luck on your $2 play tonight. We will talk about it next Tuesday. Congratulating you on the win. Speaking of big plays tonight, I forgot to mention it at the top of the show, but the Prez has a 5% NHL play up tonight. He hasn't had one in a while. Prez is 19-9, his last 28 NHL 5% plays. He's been on a very good run of late. So if you head over to WagerTalk.com, you can and click on Prez's capper page, you can find his 5% NHL play there. Andrew, back to you.
Yeah, guys, these 5% plays have gone really, really well on the ice lately across both WagerTalk and Sports Memo. So don't forget to check out that play from the Prez tonight on the ice. Try and keep these runs going as far as the 5% NHL plays. But guys, looking at this board, yesterday it was one play for me, one client play. Low volume has been the name of the game for me, as a lot of you might know my client plays lately. Tonight will not be one of those nights. As Ski Profit likes to say, shooters shoot. And tonight will be one of those nights for me. A bunch of plays ready to go up. Love this card in the NHL. Number one capper at WagerTalk.com in the NHL. We're closing in on 60% ROI on the season. Try and build on that today. My best bet here for today's show is going to be the Nashville Predators and the Seattle Kraken over the total of 5.5. And look, Seattle, this is a team that's definitely up there in goals given up per game. They are horrible on the penalty kill. They're horrible in transition. This is a team that can't keep up with certain teams like Nashville. I was surprised that Nashville has been such an over team like they have been this season. I expect a big night from Philip Forsberg and company, and even Yossi to push that tempo up the ice and really kind of jump into the rush and kind of create a fourth forward there. So I feel like this is one of those games where it's end-to-end action for an entire 60 minutes. And I kind of am curious why this one isn't a 6. They keep giving us these 5.5s with the Seattle Kraken. I'll take it over 5.5 with the Kraken and the Predators. Carmine Bianco, the barking dog here. We got the plus 115 with the Vancouver Canucks, and Don Buster with Carolina. First period, -0.5 goal, plus 135. We are back tomorrow live on Puck Time here, WagerTalk TV with the Prez, 11 a.m. Eastern as usual. And on behalf of Buster, Carmine, I am Andrew. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from now until Super Bowl 57 on February 12, 2023 from your favorite WagerTalk handicapper for only $1,199 versus a regular price of $1,999 for one total savings of $800. This limited time super discount comes out to less than $100 per month and only $3.28 per day. As an added bonus, your all access starts immediately, so the sooner you buy before Super Bowl 56, the more additional days you will get for free. Just go to WagerTalk.com, choose your favorite handicapper to lock in, and don't forget there is no limit to the amount of handicappers you can redeem our Super Bowl to Super Bowl offer on.